This is Father Andrew Ritchie, and you're listening to Catholic Inspiration, a podcast from my website at studyprayserve.com. These homilies, presentations, and retreats form part of my ministry as a Catholic priest for the Diocese of Superior. And now I invite you to open your hearts to some Catholic inspiration. Today is Friday of the 27th week of the year. Our Gospel reading is Luke, chapter 11, verses 15 to 26. When Jesus had driven out a demon, some of the crowd said, "By the power of Beelzebul, the prince of demons, he drives out demons." Others, to test him, asked him for a sign from heaven. But he knew their thoughts and said to them, "Every kingdom divided against itself will be laid waste, and house will fall against house. And if Satan is divided against himself, how will his kingdom stand? For you say that it is by Beelzebul that I drive out demons. If I then drive out demons by Beelzebul, by whom do your own people drive them out? Therefore they will be your judges. But if it is by the finger of God that I drive out demons, then the kingdom of God has come upon you. When a strong man, fully armed, guards his palace, his possessions are safe. But when one stronger than he attacks and overcomes him, he takes away the armor on which he relied and distributes the spoils. Whoever is not with me is against me, and whoever does not gather with me scatters. When an unclean spirit goes out of someone, it roams through arid regions searching for rest, but finding none, it says, I shall return to my home from which I came. But upon returning, it finds it swept clean and put in order. Then it goes and brings back 7 other spirits, more wicked than itself, who move in and dwell there. And the last condition of that man is worse than the first. If it is by the finger of God that I drive out demons, then the kingdom of God has come upon you. So what's going on? Here's Jesus driving out a demon. He does this repeatedly throughout the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke here, and John's Gospel. It's one of the signs of the authority of Jesus, that with a word of command, the demons must flee, be cast out of people they've been afflicting. The crowds are seeing this, and so there's some pushback, some response. How's he doing it? How is he making this happen? And you have Jesus responding here. If someone says, no, he's using a powerful demon to drive out the little demons, and then Jesus responds. But I love how he says this, but then how do your own people drive out demons? See, there are all sorts of prayers, folks, that people would say quite effectively to drive out evil. We have this to this day in the Catholic Church. We have this where there are all sorts of ways in which we can pray, and in the prayer, ask God to drive out the evil that is present. This notion here that when evil must flee before the finger of God, just the tiniest lift of God's finger, and evil must be cast out. We have a sign here of something very important in the church that we have to understand. Evil, especially evil, whether it's in the context of our own human hearts, or if it comes from hell itself and ruled by Satan, whether we're talking about a demon or the evil that we ourselves can possess, that's evil that comes from a creature. But when we talk about God's goodness, we're talking about the Creator. Yes, Satan has power, but that power is nothing compared to the awesome, overwhelming power of God. God is the creator. We are the creatures. God is, God. And therefore, as creator and master of all, God's authority is unquestionable. And therefore, in the presence of God, all of the created world must bow. And evil has no ability to fight in the presence of the Almighty. I want you to sit with that. God, the Creator, evil, whether it's demonic or human, that's the creature. Friends, we come up against evil all the time. It's part of the fabric of our world. We see it. We see it on the public arena, with the world stage, our own backyard. But what we want to take to heart today is this. It's by the finger of God that Jesus Christ drove out demons. And that power that Jesus used, he gave to the church. And so we continue to this day to call upon God to exercise that power, that evil will be cast out. And if this is going to make any sense at all, then we have to ask, where do we see evil in our lives right now? Whether it's our own hearts, our world, our relationships, anything around us. Guess what we're praying for? That we take to heart the Lord's Prayer. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. That we call upon God for the help and the grace and the strength we need to cast out the evil that is around us. And ask the Lord to continue to protect and guide, guard, rule, direct our lives, and allow us to face evil, because we will indeed face it, we'll encounter it, but to face that evil, recognizing that Jesus Christ walks with us side by side. And so we call upon the Lord for the help we need in the face of the evil we find in our lives. Friends, we understand that God's power, God's overwhelming power, in the face of that evil must flee. So today may we dare to pray that God's reign continues to break into our world, casting out the darkness and guiding us in light. God bless you all. This is Father Andrew, and I hope this podcast inspires your faith. Now, if you found it helpful, please share it with a friend. And you can help me by leaving a rating and a review. I keep all my listeners in my daily prayers, and I ask for your prayers in return. God bless you, my friends.